And so, Gene, it's interesting. We've been talking this morning and kind of discussing what organizational change and behavior change is, and also how change management, as we both know, deals with that process kind of across an organization. But I think my audience and the folks that will be watching this are really curious about what that means in general for organizations, and then after that we'll dive into what it means for sustainability. Mm-hmm. But what is change management?
What change management is helping people deal with the emotional, their personal side of changes that are coming up in the organization. In this day and age, there are so many changes coming up with the way people either do business or the way they work. And that's having to be refined, streamlined, really on an almost constant basis. Most people are not very comfortable with that. Businesses also spend considerable amounts of money trying to get people to change. So many times those efforts are not successful because they don't deal with the emotional part.
Absolutely. And so for you, how do you deal with that emotional change?
Well, I help them work through their emotions and then and let them know that everything that they're experiencing is not unusual. In fact, it's very common and it's all part of the process. So they'll have, for example, I usually show them a resistance curve. When things start to change, people are very resistant. People are very troubled. In time, though, if they deal with those emotions, they will almost dissolve, like dropping Alka-Seltzer into a glass.
Nice. Yeah, I like that imagery. That's nice imagery there. Because I think a lot of people feel like their change or what they feel resistant to is normal. They should be feeling this resistance, and that if they're feeling resistance to something, that it shouldn't change. People believe that. Like, I have discomfort, therefore this is wrong and it shouldn't be happening. So how do you get over that?
That's a really good point. And people think that just because it's different, it must be wrong. You know, sometimes change isn't for the best, but many times it really is. It might make people, for example, in the business setting, more effective, more efficient, more empowered. And it's this resistance that really stops them from at least looking at the coming change and deciding for themselves if that's something that would really improve their skills, their performance, or whatever. So change most of the time can make things a lot better for people at the individual and the organizational level. It brings a lot more meaning to the work that they do.
Yeah, I hear you there, and it's definitely true. Now I want to link what we're saying to sustainability, because change and sustainability are basically one and the same. And I like to tell people when I meet with them or have consulting sessions with businesses, I say, imagine the earth, plants, even in this backyard, for example, imagine it never changing. How would that be possible in nature? And everyone says no.
You're right, it's not possible. And nature changes all the time, and the earth changes all the time to reflect all sorts of, even at a seasonal level. I mean, that's the basics of nature. But it's true, businesses, again, when things in this economy, you have to change in order to stay competitive. With sustainability, the reason I'm really sold on sustainability is that not only can you help the planet, but you can help your business if you do change your business practices to be more sustainable.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the sustainability component and making people recognize that change is a process. It's almost, and this is difficult for people to accept too, that change is continuous.
Change is continuous, and it is a process. Let's say you look at a particular goal and it just seems like it's just too much to handle at one particular time. That's fine. That's a very normal reaction to change. So I often recommend to my clients, chunk it down. Let's break things down into really small pieces that are a whole lot more manageable, and just take one little step forward, continuously though, but take small steps forward so that at the end of, let's say, a certain time period has passed, you'll look back and you see, yeah, things really are different now, and I was able to work my way through that. I did it in small steps, but that's just fine as well.
What it means for an individual to accept continuous change.
Right. The continuous change is so much part of life at the personal level. It's so much part of life at the organizational level. So think about it that if you're not changing, you're actually preventing things from moving forward, not only with yourself, but with the organization. So continuous change can really make a difference as far as bringing more meaning to the work you do, really assisting the organization that you're working in, helping your team accomplish more. So it's important.
Right, and focusing on the benefits of that.
Exactly.
I hear that a lot in what you're saying.
Yeah, so there are a lot of benefits to improving. Maybe improving is a better word than change. Think of it that you're always trying to improve who you are, your skills, your organization.
Sure. It's like the stickers they put on all the products now, right? New and improved, new and improved, constantly new and improved.
Well, I think that's absolutely fine for every person to look at what does it mean to them, what's improvement to them.
Yeah.
And they have so much more power to make improvements, not only to themselves but to the organization. I think that's really empowering and gives a whole lot more meaning to what you're doing every day.
Definitely. This is a great little piece. I actually like this segment a lot because one of the things that whenever I talk to people and have had discussions on my road trip, and everyone's like, how can you be moving all the time? How can you be changing all the time? Isn't that uncomfortable? And of course it is, but I think this is one thing that really connects for me is this process of understanding what continuous change means. And then when I do choose to kind of settle down and choose the city that I want to live in again, it's going to be quite a new process for me, getting used to that adjustment versus being in this continuous state of flux like I am right now.
Right.
So I'm going to have the opposite experience of not moving compared to what some of your clients have of starting to move a lot more. But thanks a lot for that section.